Hello, guys. If you're a Bitcoiner, if you're a crypto enthusiast, it's going to be important you listen to this show. And if you're not, if you're a silver stacker, if you're a guy that's into, it's still important that you listen to this show. I feel like there's something getting ready to happen with the cryptocurrency markets. I believe it's going to be a big opportunity coming up, and I'm going to explain it all coming right up in this episode. Stay tuned. Okay, the secret's held in this chart right here. This particular page on this chart, this is what I'm getting at, and it's very important. If you're a cryptocurrency enthusiast, or you're a guy who doesn't like cryptocurrency and who is right into silver and hates cryptocurrency, or if you're a person that's into neither, you're just got dollars in the bank account, you need to listen to this program. It's all in this chart right here behind me. I've got this chart on display, and we're going to analyze the chart, and then we're going to talk about what I think is going to happen. First thing, you see at the base of the chart, it started out at $85. This is along in there where I started in Bitcoin, where I first really got interested in Bitcoin. My mother told me about Bitcoin when it was 5 cents. And I said to her, I said, that's a Ponzi scheme. And I said, it's going to die. And I said, I'm not investing in that. Ha ha ha, silly me. You know? So I forgot about it for a long time. And then I started to get interested in it again when it was about $60. So that's where we start this chart, in around $60. And look, we had this massive run up on the chart right here, and it peaked at like, oh man, it was like it peaked at like $1,150 or something like that. 1153 or something like that. It peaked, right? Didn't stay there very long, but she dropped off, and she dropped all the way down to like 425, and then she bounced. Now, what happened is it had a little bounce, and then she fell off, and she settled in. And because Bitcoin has always been, since its infancy until now, it's been a speculative investment. It's been a speculative market. There is a very few real world applications. You can buy airplane tickets, or you can go and you can buy things on overstock.com or stuff like that, or what's the name of the different companies like Newegg, or a few other companies that sell electronic gear and stuff like that. They'll take Bitcoin, and a few gold and silver companies have been able to take it over the years, but not many. There's really not that many places you can use them in real world applications yet. I say yet. I'm getting to something here. Right now, Bitcoin's a speculative investment. But now I'm going to tell you the big key to all of this. Cryptocurrency, not just Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency, is going to get a huge push coming right up with the world's financial system is going to fall. We're going to have a stock market crash coming up. And then we're going to have a recovery. It's during the recovery, after the stock market crash is over, during the recovery, this is going to push Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies. And what's going to push them is a super episode of inflation. Very, very, very bad inflation. Fiat currencies are going to have huge problems. And this is going to be a driver for cryptocurrencies. And it's at that point, cryptocurrency is going to cease to be a speculative investment. And it's going to become a safe haven asset. But not only a safe haven asset, there's going to become real world usage across the board. Places where you can actually spend Bitcoin. All kinds of places. And in the end, full adoption. Not when I say Bitcoin, I mean cryptocurrencies. And in the end, what we're going to see is full adoption of cryptocurrencies as money. It's going to destroy the banking system. And we're going to go through a period of turmoil. in a transition period where I cannot begin to describe what that's going to look like. But I know all of this is going to probably happen within the next 5 years. Now, where I'm going to get with this, now I know I just went over a lot of information with you really quick there. Where I'm actually going with this is all of the world's value, the value of everything right now translates into dollars. You say, what is my house worth? You say, dollars. My house worth so many dollars. What's my car worth? So many dollars. This is going to be transitioned over into crypto. What is my house worth? It's worth so many of whatever the king cryptocurrency is at that time. And it probably will still be Bitcoin. I'm expecting Bitcoin to lose a little bit of its dominance and some other ones to come up behind it. But Bitcoin is very likely to retain its dominance probably at around 20%, with all the other cryptocurrencies in behind. But Bitcoin still being the one that you base value on of all the other cryptocurrencies. So if you have whatever, a Cardano, or you have a Dash, you're going to say it's worth such and such amount of Bitcoin. It's worth like 003 or whatever, or 001 or whatever. I have a Litecoin. It's worth 0.15 or something. You know what I mean? Or 0.11 or whatever. But this Bitcoin is going to be the fundamental behind it all. And the thing is here's what I want to get at. Look at this chart. Look very carefully at this chart. This is why it's so important. And this is what could make you rich. Coming up. This program that I'm on right now could make you rich if you pay attention. Pay close attention to what I'm going to say. Right now, look at this chart. You see this pattern right here of Bitcoin going up to $1,100 roughly, and then falling down, and it fell all the way down at its bottom. We were looking at probably where you could buy in, seriously buy in. Now, it did have a spike down to $155 basically, but nobody got a chance to buy in on that. But you could actually buy in at around 237. Here's another spot you could buy in, 249. These were good spots to buy in, $249 for a whole Bitcoin, right? And then she climbed this enormous mountain all the way up to $19,666. This is the same kind of mountain it climbed from $85 up to $1,150. It's the same thing. And if you look at it, the pattern looks almost identical. And then the drop-off looks identical. This little bounce at the end looks almost identical. We're at the end of this little bounce that they had at the end after it climbed to $1,150, and it dropped down as low as 342, and then it bounced back to $680 roughly. Right now, our bounce back is almost the exact same equivalent of amount back, like we've bounced back to like 9,700 from 19,000, and that's the equivalent of bouncing back from 1150 back to 600 and something. It's basically half. It's been cut in half. That's exactly what had happened here. It was cut in half. Your moving averages crossed at exactly the same point that the moving averages are crossing right now. Look at the two moving average. Look at the moving average. Look, it's crossed. It crosses the line right at the same spot. Do you see that? Now what happens next? You get the little bounce, right? And then what happens next? I think it's going to follow the exact same pattern, which means we're in for a slide. We're in for a slide, if I'm right, and it's going to do the exact same pattern as it did before. But, okay, what am I getting at with all of this? Let's get to the nitty-gritty. Let's see what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is buying opportunity, because I believe, personally, that it made this peak. It went from $85 all the way up to $1,150, and it made that peak. And then now it's went from $200 all the way up to $19,666. I think we're in for the slide, the same sort of slide we had before, and then for another massive bull market. So the question is, how far out is this next massive bull market? And how low is it going to go to afford us the buying opportunity? Okay? Now, there's more of what I want to get at. I believe that these up-and-coming cryptocurrencies, right, and I'm going to name them for you, a few of them right now. There's Bitcoin Cash, there's EOS, Cardano, right? Litecoin, Stellar, Neo, Tron, IOTA, Monero, Dash, NEM, and Tether, and VE Chain, right? And QTUM, Omisego, OMISE Go, Icon, and Binance Coin. All of those are the top 20 coins. In those top 20 coins, they're going to vie for position. If you can hit some of these that are really going to do good, and are going to do good on fundamentals, what we need to do, and this is what I need you guys to do, you need to interact with me on this particular episode. I'm going to watch the comments very carefully. And what I want you guys to do is, some of you guys right now that are listening are into cryptocurrencies. Now, of those coins I named, not so much Ethereum or Bitcoin Cash or Ripple. I understand those, but more. I haven't studied into them so much. But I want to know about EOS. I want to know about Cardano. I understand Litecoin somewhat, but I want to understand Stellar, Neo, Tron, IOTA. I want to understand these coins better. And if you guys can point out to me, think about it, and point out to me in these coins things that could make them have a specialty that could push them up in the cryptocurrency space to challenge Bitcoin, if not move up past Litecoin even, and get up into the top positions. What makes them special? Tell me in the comments what makes them special. Because if we can find, as a group together, if we can find the coin that's going to move up in the positions and becomes special in the cryptocurrencies, because cryptocurrencies is actually going to take over. And you know what? I've already told you what the kicker is going to be that's going to push it, is the death of the fiat currencies. Because we're always in this world going to have something that's a store of value that covers the aspects of money. And these cryptocurrencies are putting themselves in the position of doing that. Now, I'm going to tell you what. There's a lot of guys out there that are gold bugs and everything, you know, and they love their gold and silver. And, I mean, I love this stuff too. But here's the thing. Stand back for a minute and start thinking. Use your head and think about the qualities of gold and silver and the qualities of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency imitates gold and silver, especially Bitcoin and Litecoin. They imitate the qualities of gold and silver. You mine them just like you mine gold and silver out of the ground. Bitcoin was meant to be gold and Litecoin was meant to be silver. But here's the thing. You have to realize that the qualities that they have are qualities that gold and silver cannot do. They have certain things that they can do for the modern age that's going to make them winners. Okay, for instance, say you lived in, you decided that you were going to move to some other country. So you throw your gold coins in a sock and you throw them in your overhead bag that goes on the airplane, you know. And so you go through the airport, and the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to run your bag through the scanning X-ray machine, and they're going to spot your coins, and they're going to open your bag up, and you know what they're going to do? They're going to take your coins. They're going to take your gold coins as if they belong to them. That could be your life savings. Maybe you work for 20 years to slowly earn enough money to buy those coins. They're just going to take them arbitrarily. That's the way the governments are right now. The governments are after money. The governments are just the exact same thing as the stagecoach robbers of the 1800s that used to wait on the bend. The guy come around the corner with the stagecoach, and they'd stop the stagecoach. They'd come out from behind a rock, and they would get everybody out of the stagecoach and make you open up your wallets. And if they found anything of any value, they kept it for themselves. Stagecoach robbers. And this is exactly the same thing. So they're going to stop you, and they're going to take your gold coins. Not only that, say you want to pay somebody with your gold coins. and say he lives 1,000 miles away, and you need what he's got to sell you right now. You need to ship it tomorrow morning because you need it, right? How are you going to get those gold coins to that guy that lives 1,000 miles away? Well, say you're using digital gold, which is Bitcoin. Well, no problem. You just send him across the internet. He's got the coins in a few minutes. Pay the $10 fee or $5 fee to transmit quickly across the network, and say you're sending him $10,000. You need some sort of an air conditioner. You need him to box and freight it out to you tomorrow morning. You send him the money, and the air conditioner's on its way the next morning. Try sending him the real physical gold and see how long that takes. You might have to drive it to him across country or something to get it to him, and what a pain in the butt. But anyway, you get my point. Now the same thing with trying to take your wealth out of the country. If you got real physical gold, good luck with that. But try taking a brain wallet. 12 words to your wallet. Memorize them. And most people can memorize 12 words. So they stop you at the border, and they're going to do their anal cavity search. Looking for money. Looking for money up your, you know what? Seriously, they're not going to find your brain wallet. To my knowledge, they do not have the technology yet to find it inside your brain. I better not talk too loud. They might try to try that on, because there was one of them at the border, you know, and he got the guy's bag, and the guy's bag had the symbol of a Bitcoin on the side of it. It was just a symbol of a Bitcoin. It was like, you know, the painted on. It was like painted on the side of his bag, a Bitcoin thing. You know, the logo. It was a logo on the side of his bag. Anyway, the border agent looked at his bag and he said, "I'm not letting you pass. You're not getting through this border." And he said, "Why?" He said, "You got a Bitcoin in that bag. You're not getting into this country. You got Bitcoin." You know, they're absolutely they're ridiculous. I've seen pictures of them grabbing kids and patting kids down in their private areas and stuff. There's nothing. Kids, I mean, they already run them through the scanner, for crying out loud. They've x-rayed them. They x-ray you. You know that? Every time you go through that stupid border, they x-ray you. How many gamma rays are they running through your body? You're nothing like, you come out of that thing, you don't feel nothing. But later you get a tumor. Maybe this is why everybody's getting tumors. From here to heck and back, everybody's dying with cancer, and we like, why we all get cancer? Anyway, I'm straying off the subject. I got to get back on subject here. And my subject is, we got to find this coin that's going to move up. Because as their system comes down, as the structure of their system comes down, everything's going to go haywire in the whole world, you know. We're not going to make a smooth transition. We could make a smooth transition over to cryptocurrencies if it took years and years and years. It took like 30 years. But this driver is going to make it all take place in 5 years or less. The driver being the fall of the U.S. dollar. The petrodollar has been being eroded for a long time. The Chinese have finally pulled out the last peg that's holding up the petrodollar, and now she's going to come down, and this is going to be the driver for cryptocurrencies. Now, some of these coins are going to move up. We need to find out the mover, and then we know what to buy into. When we're not just shooting in the dark. We're not just shooting darts at a dartboard with a blindfold over our face. This way, we take the blindfold off. We can see where we're throwing the darts, so we can make them darts land on the dartboard, you know. And so we can get the coins that are going to matter. Now, personally, I like Litecoin. I really do. I like Bitcoin Cash. I don't like Ripple because it's a banker's coin. Ethereum, I like Ethereum, and I like some of these top coins. I understand them. But some of these are moving up really good, like EOS and Cardano, Stellar, you know, Neo, Tron, and IOTA, IOTA, you know. They're moving up really good, and we need to understand them better because they're going to take up an awful lot of market value, And you could see multiples in your money when this real driver comes. So we're going to have a first, before all of these things go to the moon, and believe me, I believe they're going to. First, what we're going to actually have is, I believe, is a fall off, which is going to be a buying opportunity coming up ahead. How low could Bitcoin go is the question. And if it follows this pattern, Bitcoin was $1,153 last, or $1,150, and it fell at its bottom. It fell down to 157, but we can't count that because that only lasted a microsecond. But where you could really buy in was around 250. So 250 is less than a quarter of the price that it was at its peak. So in this buying opportunity coming up, if it still follows that trend, now there's no guarantee it will follow that trend, but if it does follow that trend, it'll give you a buying opportunity at around a quarter of the price of 20,000, which would be what, around $5,000 per coin. That's a buying opportunity. But the problem with all of this is Bitcoin retained its dominance through this whole thing. And if Bitcoin doesn't retain its dominance, what kind of price could we be looking at? Moves upwards? Would we be looking at as large a moves upwards? Possibly yes. If we see as large a move upwards, it'll move from $5,000. This last move was from 200 to 20,000. This next move would be, what's that multiples? 200, roughly 250 to 20,000. Is that like 40 times or something? So if it moves from 5,000, it's going to move like, oh, I don't have a calculator right here real quick. Let's see. Okay, I'll get a calculator. I'm going to get a calculator. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, I got my calculator here. Okay, so it was at 250 bucks, and we'll okay, hit clear. Just a second. We'll say 20,000, and we'll divide by 250, and we get 80 times. Okay, so now if we clear this, so it went up multiples of 80 times. So if it comes down to 5,000. And it goes up 80 times 80. So we'd be looking at $400,000 per Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes down to $5,000 and then it makes the move exactly like the last move it made, the same amount up, we would be looking at $400,000 per Bitcoin. So you can kind of see what I mean by this could be the buy of a lifetime coming up if Bitcoin goes as low as 5,000. And right now it's at 9,288. So even if you bought in there, because these moves are going to be massive, but they're even going to be bigger if we can spot the coin that's going to move up through the ranks. Whether it be Litecoin, Cardano, whether it be EOS, Stellar, or Neo, or Tron, or one of those, and it moves up through the ranks. And why they're going to move up through the ranks is if they have some qualities that make them unique that the other coins don't have, that is going to make it wanted. This is what we got to look for. Qualities that are going to make it wanted over the other coins. New and innovative qualities that are going to make it wanted and need to be used. Right? And it's just like a singer that's trying to break into the music industry. That's what these coins are like. If they got something a little bit special that's going to move them up through the music industry, say they got a little warble to their voice or something, or their voice is a little bit melodic or something, or has something special, then they'll be promoted and they'll move up through the music industry. And if they can find the same thing with a coin, something that has a little bit something unique or special, that's going to move up through. And if you buy in early, you're going to see even bigger multiples than 80 times on your money. You could see like, I don't know, hundreds of times your money doubling over and over and over again. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say about this market today. I believe that Bitcoin could be following this same pattern, and and I wanted to get this out there to you and see what you guys think. So thank you for listening, like, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next show. Bye.